in northern Wisconsin. Fred Prentice got married for the third time, kind of late in his life. He was in his 70s. As a surprise wedding gift for his third wife, he built a beautiful three-story mansion. It used to be just in from the point we're approaching. 3 stories with an observation tower, all covered in cedar shingles. Now, after his wedding, then he brought his new wife out and surprised her with it. She was surprised, not very pleasantly. Mr. Prentice was in his 70s, kind of looking forward to retiring out here. His third wife was younger, a socialite from New York City. Not so much looking forward to retiring out here. When she got here, the quarry was operating, and there would have been 50 or so dirty, sweaty men gawking at her. And she would have been the only woman on this island. That absolutely was not for her. She refused to live here in the middle of nowhere. Never spent even a single night, just left on the same boat that had brought her out. The building remained, though. The building stood for about 40 years. It was left for use by friends and family of the Prentices. By the 1930s, the building had become kind of run down, and it was intentionally burned just to get rid of it. Throughout this summer, there's been an eagle's nest out here, and you may be able to see some traces of it. I don't know if the eagles are moving it or if it was damaged in the storm, but the nest is mostly gone right now. Just a little bit ahead of us, there are 3 kind of extra tall pine trees. Up near the top of the middle one is where the nest was. There's a few traces of it left, just a little bit of some sticks stuck in there. But again, for the most part, the nest is gone now, which is unusual. It's the 3rd year the nest has been here. Eagles generally reuse the same nest year after year. So the fact that this one is gone, really kind of odd. Never seen that happen before. And again, all I can think is that they've moved and are rebuilding nests somewhere else. It used to be just about straight to our left, and now, boy, it's completely gone today. Yeah, there's no trace of it at all. So there was an eagle's nest there up until a couple weeks ago. Not seeing any sign of the eagles. They actually raised 2 eaglets in this nest, and much of the summer we've been seeing them right along here. Not seeing any right now, but they may still be in the general area. Yeah, there is one actually directly up ahead of us, so if it sits tight, we'll be going right past it. Something else that we can see right along here, some of the variation in the stone. The majority of the stone here is this reddish-brown color. Now see right along here, there are a few very thin layers that are kind of a pale yellow or off-white. Then there's a lot of discoloration here, right on the very surface of the stone. Much of that surface discoloration is lichen. A lichen is a mix of an algae and a fungus that grow together. Lots of different varieties of it. Along here, some of it's kind of a yellowy orange. There's also greens and grays and blues. These are all just different varieties of lichen. And just a little bit ahead of us, just in from this next point, there's an adult eagle standing in a tree. I think just beyond where the adult is, there might be one of the eaglets, one of the young eagles. The young ones don't have the bright white head and tail feathers. Eagles don't actually get the bright white feathers until, no, it's the second adult there. The eagles don't get their bright white head and tail feathers until they're about 4 years old. Young ones right now are pretty much full size, but they're mostly brown. If you see a young eagle flying, they're brown with a whole bunch of white on their undersides. Yeah, that's 2 of the adults here. Actually, probably the 2 that nested here this summer.
There's a 2 for eagles. There's a boat been coming around all summer.
They'd be waiting at us.
And there they are again.